Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are across this great wide world of ours. I'm going to continue my discussion about the Bureau of Indian Affairs from this point on in my discussion. I'm going to refer to the Bureau of Indian Affairs as the BIA. And occasionally I have to take a drink of water because I'm fighting a sinus thing and want to be able to talk about this. And just without talking, I was thinking today what I would like to discuss concerning the BIA. And I was thinking as I went to delivered some stuff at FedEx about what and where we are with the BIA currently. In other words, what situations of really what impact has the BIA had on Native Americans in the last, say, 10, 15 years. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about, the Bureau has opened the channels because of the fact of the World Wide Web and the issue of better communication amongst the individual tribes. But in essence, or in reality, has life got any better? And it's almost like the same analogy that I saw yesterday, that the United States sends a satellite probe, $118 million probe, to the moon, and the probe lands on the moon, and they consider it success. But the point was that the probe lands sideways on the moon, and people within NASA believe it's success. And there again, to me that's flawed thinking, and it's the rationale that exists right now in our federal government, that if it's not broke, we don't need to fix it. But in actuality, it is broke, and we need to do better improvement. And when I talk about the BIA, the cusp of the issue becomes: has life become better for Native Americans? And yes, it has, but it hasn't got better to where certain parts of, like, African Americans, poor whites, etc., because we still have high rates of unemployment, high rates of sexual abuse, high rates of dropout rate, and yet the cusp, and I repeat this, the BIA was supposed to empower more of the Native American culture to be able to move forward in it. And the point here is, when you discuss this, we've got 12 branches of the Bureau, the BIA, and the main office is in Washington, D.C. And I still have a hard concept on the BIA is existing in Washington, D.C., or being the main headquarters, when majority of your tribes that are still active and still are on reservation are west of the Mississippi. And the contention for me is that this BIA headquarters needs to be more aligned with the tribes west of the Mississippi, and not necessarily on the coast of Washington. Here again, it's bureaucracy, the bureaucracy at its finest. In other words, we're creating administrative jobs, and those jobs are not helping where it needs to be helped at the tribal level. Case in point, we could go back to the COVID-19 epidemic, and we can see that numbers of rates of sickness, rates of death compared to other social classes within the United States was higher on the Native American reservations. And granted, some of that has to do with hygiene, and washing your hands and etc. But the case in point is also that when this broke out, what was going on with those that had casinos was that they were using that for medical uses and for social and infrastructure on the reservations. But here again, the issue becomes under the Biden administration, they opened a couple more casinos, especially in the state of Washington. With, in essence, what this created was more casinos. Where I wrote a book called Diminishing Returns, Native Casinos and the Diminishing Returns on the Reservations. That a lot that go to these are boomers and Gen X, and then once these generations die out, there's limited interest with the millennials and Gen Zs on gambling, and yet this issue with supposedly with the Bureau, that there should be some discussion, intellectual discussions concerning the next 20 or 30 years, and there again, we create all this bureaucracy in Washington D.C. and not necessarily we create a proactive approach. We're taking a reactive report. And my studies as a psychologist was always say organizations that often fail take a reactive approach to things without taking a proactive approach to things. And I think that we gotta stop drinking the Kool-Aid and start taking a proactive approach on the reservations. And I'm a big component of eliminating the Bureau of Indian Affairs, especially the administrative part of it, and turning that money that we're giving to the reservations themselves, and not necessarily to the bureaucracy that we have established in Washington, D.C. And in other words, I'm not saying that bigger government is not the answer to help a Native American culture, because we got issues of social strife, water quality, and that's my latest book, Water Quality on the Reservations, where people are concerned about water quality. Granted, things have been the last couple of years better for the areas out west, especially the American Southwest, where there's been plentiful rainfall the last couple of years and snowfall in the mountains. But like anything else in life, that could change next year, and there could be extreme drought. And then with the population in cities like Las Vegas, Phoenix, still increasing in population, the demand for water becomes higher. And the fact of the matter is that on the scale of water quality and water, the Native American reservations are low on the spectrum pole on that. So the issue becomes we're taking a reactive approach to the reservations and not necessarily a proactive report. And there again, that's why I'm saying my mindset as a scholar and as well as a person that's read quite a bit on this, wrote quite a bit on this, and with having a PhD, that I find that this is interesting. We create a bureaucracy that really is not helping the Native American people. And even though, and I admire the Biden administration appointing somebody as Secretary of the Interior from the Navajo Reservation, really the last 3 years, 4 years, there hasn't been any significant change upon the reservations. So because there again, I think it's more about bureaucracy. And that's the same thing with the casinos that I have a contention with too, is that with the casinos that exist, it's not necessarily the issue of creating, which it does, but it creates more administrative cost. Case in point, let's look at the state of Ohio, which currently I'm residing in. Look at the lottery. A lot of those funding from the lottery actually goes to administrative costs and not necessarily the cost of helping others, especially when it was set up in the first place under Governor Gilligan, was the fact it was supposed to help with school education. And when you look at it, it really school education in Ohio has not gotten any better. It's actually got worse. And so the thought of the lottery itself being the institution itself is not necessarily the answer to this. The answer is hands-on or boots on the ground on the reservations, working with tribal leaders who know their people and work better with their people, and not necessarily giving more bureaucracy to the state or even at the federal level, but turning more of that over, because there still is this mistrust with the federal government. And wouldn't it be nice if the government would say, leave this up to the tribes out there, close the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C., and then we got 12 offices, close all those down, centralize it into 4 offices, and we don't need this administrative cost, and to have more of that money available for the people on the reservation. And like I said, I've said this a couple minutes ago, we spent $113 million on a satellite that's lying sideways on the moon. And NASA's philosophy is this is a success, and it's not a success, it's a failure, because within 7 to 2 weeks, the satellite will be dead. We spent $113 million on a satellite that 113 could have been used more to help with people on the reservation. And they always say for science, but my thing is, we need to look at the issues of whether are we helping people or are we hindering people. So anyway, these are some foods for thoughts. Please like and subscribe to my channel, Native American Reservations. Have any questions, please like and subscribe. I also have books available, self-published on Amazon. Water Quality on the Reservation, Diminishing Return Casino, another one on Native American Perspective, 15th, 19th century. A few other books that I've also published. I'm currently working on a book now, Abundance, which I'll probably spend some time tomorrow evening working on, or a little bit this evening working on as well. So anyway, folks, I'll talk to you real soon, and have a great week. And thank you for watching.